CTV News with Ricardo Veneza.
There's no deal until there's a deal.
The U.S. president says there's no deal yet on peace for Ukraine after a high-stakes meeting with the Russian leader over his country's aggression in Europe. Good evening. Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin today in Alaska. It was a controversial meeting where the American leader hosted the Russian president, who was wanted on war crimes by the International Criminal Court. The two leaders emerged from the meeting today speaking side by side to media, with Trump saying there was no deal reached on Ukraine's future, while Putin stressed there was an understanding.
So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there.
Overall, it's very important for our countries to turn the page, to go back to cooperation. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, businesslike and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
Now, President Trump dropped another trade threat as he flew to Alaska for his summit with Putin today, taking aim at semiconductors. And CTV's Rachel Aiello tells us that puts upward of 120,000 jobs in Canada on notice.
Donald Trump says he's about to send tariffs on semiconductors climbing. Aboard Air Force One, the U.S. president said that either next week or the week after, he'll be taking new trade action against the microchips that help power virtually all electronic devices.
We're going to have a rate that is going to be lower at the beginning. Then that gives them a chance to come in and build, and very high after a certain period of time. And if they don't build here, they have to pay a very high tariff, which doesn't work, so they'll come and build.
Today, the Canadian sector, which does big business south of the border, said Trump's threat could have big implications, not only for consumers, but the country as a whole.
Semiconductors underpin the entire innovation economy. And if you're not able to access semiconductors, you're not actually able to be sovereign in the ways that we mean it in the 21st century.
With another sector now bracing for Trump's impact, new polling indicates anxiety over the state of Canada-U.S. relations is skyrocketing. Nanos' latest numbers show that in the last month, Trump and the state of trade talks overtook the economy and jobs as the top national issue of concern.
Knowing that as time goes by and as Canadian jobs are at risk because of this trade uncertainty, that there will be increasing pressure for the government, not just to get some sort of deal and to bring stability to the relationship, but to also help industries that are currently suffering as a result of Donald Trump.
Nick Nano said that while the Liberals still have a sizable advantage over the other parties in the polls, succeeding or failing on the Trump file is shaping up to be the first defining test for Prime Minister Mark Carney. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
We're ticking down the minutes now to a potential major strike for Air Canada, with its some 10,000 flight attendants prepared to walk off the job for the picket line to back contract demands. CUPE says the company hasn't come to the table for new talks, while the airline wants Ottawa to force binding arbitration.
We don't think that a third party should be coming in to save the day once again for Air Canada, swoop in and not let them negotiate.
The two sides are battling it out over wages, with the company offering a package it says would make its flight attendants the best paid in Canada. Meantime, the labor unrest at Canada Post continues. Meetings scheduled for today between the union and the national mail carrier have been postponed, with the federal mediators in those talks now tied up with the Air Canada dispute. And at the University of Windsor, Unifor Local 444 says the 26 special constables it represents have given total support today to a strike mandate to back contract demands. The current collective agreement expires on August 31st. The union says initial talks have been held with the university. Well, the NCAA has come down hard on the University of Michigan's football program, fining it more than $20 million and suspending head coach Sharon Moore in connection to a years-long sign-stealing scandal. Governing body says it found overwhelming evidence the Wolverines ran an elaborate in-person scouting scheme from 2021 to 2023 under then-coach Jim Harbaugh's watch and tried to cover it up. Along with Moore's ban, Michigan faces scholarship cuts, recruiting restrictions, and a 4-year probation. The school says it will appeal. Well, closer to home, we're getting a witness account of the deadly crash on Lake St. Clair in Lakeshore yesterday afternoon. As we first told you last night, a 17-year-old girl died in hospital as a result. CTV's Bob Belichico reports.
So I wish I could do more. I know if it was my daughter, I wish someone would do it for her.
Marco Malizia and his family were just a few feet away from a crash that changed the lives of many in an instant.
Poor kids that were hoping to have some fun, and it was very tragic in the end.
According to OPP, 4 teens were pulled from Lake St. Clair in the backyard of a home on Couture Beach.
Unfortunately, a 17-year-old female from Essex County was pronounced deceased at hospital, and the 3 other victims, one sustained life-threatening injuries, and 2 others were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
The victims ranged between the ages of 15 and 17. Police say a 16-year-old was airlifted to a trauma center. A GoFundMe page has been set up for the teen's family to come from Alberta and stay close to Ava during her recovery. The money would help with flights, hotels, food, and the cost for time off work. Malizia was taking a short retreat from work with his family in this rented trailer and was fishing with his daughter Thursday afternoon. He noticed the girls were in their element and getting uncomfortably close to the shore.
She came in too close and she just hit the wall, top speed.
The owner of the trailer said her house shook from the impact. Malizia immediately started yelling for help. His daughter called 911. He and his wife jumped into action to help during the initial part of the rescue.
My wife was trying to pull her up herself, and she just doing the best she could. She was with the one girl, taking care of the one girl, and I was taking care of the other, helping the other gentleman and his wife take care of the other girl.
Others quickly came to help before first responders arrived. Malizia and his family are still shaken and heartbroken.
I just hope the families give condolences to all of them and hope that the one girl recovers and gets through it and everybody's okay.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Another festival is taking over Lansbury Park this weekend in Ottawa Village, but as our Sanjay Maru tells us, there is some trepidation. Acts of hate may look to disrupt the events, like the graffiti that marred an otherwise successful Pride celebration.
All day, crews have been preparing for the 3rd annual Windsor International Diaspora African Festival, WIDA-Fest, now underway at Lansbury Park.
It's the people, it's the music, it's the food, it's just a personality, who we are. We get together with people, we are loving people, really and truly. The culture is basically making sure that we can express ourselves.
But with that expression comes concern over this area being a target for hateful graffiti and vandalism during last weekend's Pride Festival. In fact, this video, newly obtained by CTV News, shows 2 young men covering their faces before tossing a promotional poster for WIDA-Fest to the ground.
They were just yelling something about, F slurs and, homophobic slurs, racial slurs, any type of slur they were just spouting out. Still hate no matter what community they're targeting.
Vandalism and graffiti are something security personnel here at WIDA-Fest say they have on their mind.
We're very aware this is an area that, a lot of people gather around. We know what to look for. The idea is presence, right? So I find when we take that approach, people tend to either be apart or they kind of go and do their thing somewhere else.
But Theo Tony says most of all, his team's visibility is meant to make the event feel welcoming.
When you keep this area busy with activities, the people that are here to do no good, they disappear.
We work closely with police. We report if we see something that's funny. But at the end of the day, we don't want it to happen. This is all about fun. It's all about people. If it does happen, we'll deal with it. I can tell you, I've experienced dealing with a lot of these things.
Founded in 2023, the Windsor International Diaspora African Festival showcases the continent's rich heritage and the community that calls Windsor home. The festival runs all weekend with food, live performances, and art exhibits. Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Windsor police say one of 2 teen suspects wanted in a gunpoint robbery has turned himself in after the incident on August 4th at a restaurant over on Huron Church Road. Now, police say a second suspect remains on the loose. He's described as a Middle Eastern male with curly black hair. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Windsor Police Service. The City of Windsor is rolling out new red light cameras. 4 are set to come online as of Monday, with 6 more set to follow in the following weeks. The city says the tech is meant to improve road safety by reducing crashes. Now, those new installations coming on Monday will be found over at Lausanne Parkway and Forest Glade Drive, Northwood Street and Dominion, Central Avenue and Temple Drive, as well as Tecumseh Road East and Jefferson Boulevard. Those are the 4 intersections those new cameras will be at. Now, Transit Windsor is promising big changes for its service starting August 31st. That means more buses, new routes, and additional drivers, meaning 20,000 new service hours for public transit as part of its 2025 service plan. Riders can expect better frequency of buses and expanded weekend service. There will be 8 full-time drivers that are added to those buses, and new color-coded signage will help riders more easily identify the routes. Well, tonight it was all about classic horsepower in downtown Windsor. You may have heard the sweet sound of revving as the Olette Car Cruise made its return. Our CTV camera was there for the retro roll-through of the Rose City.
It's just fun hanging out with my family out here, watching all the cars go by.
Just want to get the kids more involved in the cars. Unfortunately, everybody's so worried about video games. It's nice to get them out, get them involved in the community, and just have a blast.
It's just getting together, and the way things are going in the world today, you got to have a little bit of happiness, right?
It's a fun event to get out and see a lot of nice cars.
Just 30 seconds ago, someone said, "Can I take a picture of your car?" And I said to him, "Hey, why don't you hop in?" And he just lit up and smiled. Now, he's a younger guy, and that might make him get into cars.
Like a lot of old cars, I liked it because I love cars and I see it and it's pretty much fun.
I get the excitement of everybody seeing it. It's one of a kind. There's nothing like it.
It's fun seeing all the cars and hanging out with them and just like being around the family.
If you get a chance to get out next year, come on down and support our downtown local BIA.
Some sweet rides there and some unique rides as well. But hey, Riverside needs a little bit of work there, eh? I'm sure it's in the plans. Well, after the break, Gary Archibald is joining us with a look at your weekend forecast.
We've been asking lots of documentations from the university, from St. Joseph Hospital.
Still ahead, the Windsor connection to a dog testing scandal at a London hospital. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for a check of the forecast. And Gary, above seasonal today, and we got some more heat on the way.
You're right about that. Good evening, folks. Temperatures in the 30s today. The humidity made it feel like the mid to upper 30s. Today, and even more so tomorrow, it could feel like the low 40s. I don't think we're in for an extended time or period with these elevated temperatures. Put us into another heat warning situation because cooler air is coming. More on that in just a moment. Today, reaching a high of 30.2. Our average now is down to 26.7. Yes, below 27 degrees. Not much to see here in terms of the satellite radar. The ridge of high pressure is still in place tonight, and that's why in terms of cloud cover, it's clear. But tomorrow afternoon, early evening, we will see that sliding, rather slippery almost, area of low pressure. It's not uniformly going to affect us across southwestern Ontario, but it seems to just creep up. I think what's going to take place is daytime heating plus the humidity that will be in place by tomorrow afternoon will elicit some showers. Now, again, tomorrow starts off sunny. In fact, it's sunny, it's calm. I don't anticipate anything for the morning or throughout much of the afternoon except for it being warm, about 32 degrees Celsius, feeling like about 41. at around 3 o'clock when we reach our peak. But by 5 p.m., we are now seeing the encroachment of that rain that's blanketing our friends in Michigan State proper, headed east. And it looks like we'll continue to see that progression through to Sunday morning. Overnight temperatures projected under a clear sky, and by that I mean cloudless for the most part. The air quality is still not great, so it's a bit hazy tomorrow morning at sunrise, or dawn, if you will. 18 degrees is seasonal for overnight low, technically tomorrow morning before sunrise. By 8 o'clock, 21 already feels like a steamy 29. It's hazy for the morning through the midday. Already 30 at noon, feeling like 38. The winds pick up by the afternoon. We're going to see that high 32 feeling like 41. But then the rains come supper time, say 6 o'clock for most. And those showers continue into Sunday morning. High of 29 on a mostly cloudy day Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, there's your cooler air coming from our beautiful Canadian prairies. Mid-20s, the story. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we'll take the rain when we can get it. It has been dry at the surface and beneath. Let's look at your 7-day forecast.
Okay, Gary, thank you for that. Well, new monthly real estate figures in Windsor, Essex saw prices slide slightly in July compared to the same time last year. The average home sold for just over $590,000 last month. That's down more than 1.5% from July 2024. And that comes as the number of homes sold climbed more than 3.5%, and new listings jumped more than 1.8%. Well, Canada's main stock index, that's the TSX, sliding today off of losses in the tech sector. The Dow up 35 points, while the Nasdaq is down 88. Canadian dollar unchanged, staying at 72.43 cents U.S. Gold's down marginally 60 cents an ounce, while oil dips $1.05 a barrel. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. We have more tonight on the fallout of a dog testing controversy at a London hospital. A Windsor researcher and founding director of the Weespark Health Institute has stepped down from her role in the scandal's fallout. CTV's Rita Ismail reports.
The fallout continues at Lawson Research Institute at St. Joseph's Healthcare after whistleblowers raised concerns about dog testing at the facility.
What we found based on their information was dogs who were being induced with up to 3-hour heart attacks and then used in medical imaging studies and used in the same MRI machines that human patients at St. Joseph's were used in.
CTV News has learned the Institute's top research executive has quietly stepped down. In an internal email obtained by CTV News, Lawson confirms that Dr. Lisa Porter, the Vice President of Research and Scientific Director, is no longer with the organization. The move comes just over a week after the Institute announced it would end research involving dogs. Western Animal Care Committee, which is mandated by the Canadian Council on Animal Care to oversee animal testing for research, says it is a rigorous process that involves many people.
We have animal care workers, we have facility managers, and we have also members of the public. Because the focus of the ACC is to make sure that the research being done is done with ethical oversight.
It is that ethical oversight that has been questioned in the past 2 weeks, despite the hospital maintaining it was done with care. In a statement, Roy Butler, CEO of St. Joseph's Healthcare, says as part of the studies, dogs were included in an enrichment program created by registered veterinary technologists to ensure they were socialized with each other and humans daily. While testing has stopped, Lawson says dogs remain in its care at St. Joseph's Healthcare. The hospital says oversight from the CCAC and the Western Animal Care Committee remains in place to ensure all protocols are ethical and transparent.
We have so many checks and balances in place to push back against that. And it's arm's length. And it's also external, federal and provincial. There's lots of layers here. It's a complicated issue that really, even though it's emotional, we do need to sit back and consider it a little more slowly, and the details are important.
In response to questions about the continued use of animals in research, St. Joe's pointed to a national guideline saying there's currently no complete alternative to animal models in drug development. In a new step, the hospital says an independent third party will review all animal research practices at Lawson, with plans to share those findings publicly.
Do they have enough staff, to take care of these animals? Are the facilities in good repair and all that? These are the kind of things. When an event like this one that happened occurred, what we do as well, we ask, right now we're doing it, we've been asking lots of documentations from the university, from St. Joseph Hospital in that case. They sent it to us, so we'll make sure, we'll look into that everything was in compliance.
For now, there's no word on whether Lisa Porter's departure is directly connected to the whistleblower complaints, but the hospital says it's committed to restoring public trust, and that includes accountability. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
The Windsor-Essex County Health Unit is confirming the region's first human case of West Nile. The virus is transmitted through mosquitoes. There's no vaccine to prevent its spread or medicines to treat it. The Centers for Disease Control say only about 1 in 150 infected people develop serious, sometimes fatal illness. Typical symptoms include fever, headache, vomiting, and body aches. Ontario doctors are negotiating with the province to get so-called good faith billing restored. CTV's Pauline Chan reports.
I'm thinking about patients who are unhoused, patients with low socioeconomic status, migrant workers, and that does contribute a significant proportion of patients that we see in the emergency department every night.
Dr. Bernard Ho works at a downtown hospital and says they treat patients regardless of whether they present an OHIP card or not. But physicians can't bill for these cases. The Ontario Medical Association says these good faith patients include newborns.
If for any reason there's any kind of a delay with parents registering their newborn within a certain number of days after they're born, their OHIP number becomes ineligible or non-valid.
Those whose cards have lapsed.
This could be for some of our really vulnerable populations, those experiencing mental health issues, those who are experiencing homelessness. You do require an address to actually get your OHIP updated.
And sometimes unconscious patients without ID, like from a bad accident.
So physicians, provide healthcare in good faith. And so we're just asking for the remuneration to also pair with this.
Ontario used to have a system for good faith billing back in 1998. It was cut and brought back for a short time during the pandemic.
We are currently awaiting for the arbitrator to present their final award, and that would be hopefully sometime this fall.
Dr. Ho says good faith cases aren't counted by the ministry when determining funding for hospitals.
It affects the funding that our ERs get from the ministry, because part of the funding is tied to the volume of patients that we see.
He'd like to see these cases included.
We may get more physician hours of funding, which means that we might be able to fund one extra physician to staff the ER every day.
And he says that would significantly reduce wait times, a benefit to all patients. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Okay, Gary is back with a wrap of the 7-day forecast. And Gary, a sunny start to Saturday.
Sunny start. You're right about that. And a warm one, Ricardo. Already feeling like about 28 degrees at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Sunny, a bit hazy. Air quality has been in that moderate risk zone, about 4 or 5 on a scale, the AQI scale, that is, from 1 to 10. The higher numbers indicate more polluted air mass that we are breathing. Showers possible and likely, I think, Saturday evening, early evening through Sunday morning. Monday, Tuesday, clouding over and cooler. 27, followed by 25, then 26, 28, 27, still in the mid to upper 20s, and cloudy as we head towards the middle to end of next week. Wherever you are, enjoy your weather and your weekend. Good night.
Looking forward to it. Gary, thank you. Well, finally for us tonight, folks, the Hospice of Windsor and Essex County is kicking off its 23rd annual face-to-face campaign today, raising money to keep programs and services free for families in need. CTV's Chris Campbell brings us that story tonight.
Joan Etchu has always had a not-so-secret crush on firefighters. In fact, she literally sleeps on a pillowcase covered in pictures of them.
Why not?
So when Windsor Fire and Rescue rolled up to her door at Hospice earlier this week, it was a dream come true.
Oh, it's amazing. Things that, you don't think you'll ever see. And at my age, there's not much time left, so I do what I want, when I want, if I want. That's my philosophy.
I thought it was wonderful. My mom's always liked firefighters, and when the staff here came about and saying that they wanted to put this together for my mom, I was ecstatic.
While Joan's visit wasn't part of any fundraiser, Hospice says moments like this show the heart of what they do, making every day count.
Hospice is a home, so whatever is going to make somebody feel more like home, we want to encourage. So that's bringing in favorite things, so maybe somebody it's a pet to come visit, or maybe if you love to do art, we want to make sure you can do that. And if you love firefighters, well, we bring them in and make sure they have a visit with you.
That same spirit is behind the Hospice's 23rd annual face-to-face campaign, now underway.
It's not just one group. We've got EMS, we've got fire, we've got police, all part of our kickoff that you're going to see.
It raises money for the Genie program, short for Granting Exceptional and Impactful Experiences, which helps transport families so they can spend more time together.
This covers the whole area off. We know that every year it's covered, they don't have to worry about it, and they can also go ahead and do other things.
Last year's campaign raised $111,000 for Hospice locally, and over the last 22 years, it has raised a total of $1.7 million.
The great thing about this campaign is we're only asking for $10 from everybody.
Donations can be made online or in person across Windsor, Essex all month to help the Hospice keep making memories.
Very nice.
The Hospice says 100% of donations stay local right here in Windsor, Essex, funding care, comfort, and yes, even a few dreams come true. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
A fantastic initiative, 23 years strong. Well, that is our time tonight, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. Until then, I'm Ricardo Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.